Hello and welcome to the historic Langham Hotel here in the heart of London, where today two of Britain's finest chefs will be going head to head in the kitchen to show you that British pork is so much more than just bangers and mash. Our culinary maestros will be cooking dishes worthy of any kitchen on any menu anywhere in the world. And you can get involved as well by having your say and voting for your favourite dish of the day. I'm Kenzie Benali, I'll be your maitre d', but it's time to head inside, meet the chefs and find out what they'll be cooking. This is East Meets West and you're very welcome. Cooking up a storm in the Sauce Kitchen today are our two enormously talented chefs, Tim De La Cruz and Greg Emerson. How are you both?
Very well.
Very well.
Very well.
Looking forward to it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
looking forward to the battle.
Good, yes, I love that competitive energy. We're really excited for this. And you both have just 30 minutes to prepare two dishes each using two different cuts of pork, belly and forehock. Do you think you're up for the challenge?
I think so.
Ready for it?
I think so. Yeah, ready.
Yes,
Ready.
Very
that's what
definitely
we like to hear. All right, well, let's get started, shall we? Take it away
Greg.
in 3,
Good luck, mate.
2,
Good luck.
1. There we go. You're underway. So, Tim, I'm going to come to you first.
Awesome.
Tell us what you're cooking today.
So I'm cooking crispy pork belly with some edamame beans, Swiss chard, truffle, black garlic puree, and bringing a little bit of my background into it. I've made some adobo sauce using the pork bones. So basically, you extract the flavor from the pork bones, you roast it in the oven, nice, lovely porky flavor going through, and then I put some Filipino soy sauce and Filipino vinegar in it.
Sounds delicious. And then the hock?
And then the hawk, I'm just gonna simply serve it whole, roast it in the oven, make it super crispy, and then I'm gonna partner it with pickled papaya with raisins, some dipping sauce made of soy sauce, ginger, shallots, a bit of chilies in it. I want a little bit of spice, and then some steamed rice, fragrant with pandan leaves.
Sounds delightful. And looking at all these amazing colours here, and I can smell it so fragrant. How do you go about sourcing your ingredients, particularly the pork, because I can tell that that is an excellent quality?
That's actually a mega quality one. So, I believe about working with your suppliers, the farm to table movement, it's very important, like knowing where the pigs come from, are they happy, are they actually free range, organic, so you actually wanna showcase that and actually take it to the fullest of their potential.
And does that actually affect the taste?
Oh,
of
big
the meat?
time, big time, because you know what, I believe that, happy pigs make happy pork.
Oh, I love that. We can tell that's happy pork for sure.
For sure, yeah.
Absolutely right. You crack on. Let's come over here and see what Greg's cooking for us today. I'm very well, thank you. How are
Good.
you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Good.
Looking forward to it. So, with the pork belly, what I've done is it's quite a traditional way of cooking it. It's in the oven really slowly with some cider, because apple and pork work really well, some chicken stock.
Beautiful.
And we braised it really slowly for about 4.5, 5 hours, okay? And we cover it with foil, so it's really gentle, about 140. And then after that, last hour, take the foil off. I've cooked it, I've done it without the rind, so I've just got the level of fat there.
Look at that.
Okay, so I haven't kept the rind on, and then portioned it like that. So if you do a big cut, you can break it down and keep some in the freezer, and then cook it differently if you want. So that's doing that. What I've got going with it, I've got some pickled cauliflower. I've got some roasted cauliflower in butter. So we've got nutty elements going on. We've got some jalapeno as well. I've got some scallops. I've got some little micro herbs going on, and I've also made a croquette from the ham hock to bring the two together to show no waste.
So
Yeah.
Going with the pork belly.
That's going with the pork belly, yeah. So we've got, and that, what I've done there is taken some of the ham hock that I've cooked, just shredded that. We've got some great West Country cheese, grated that into a roux, put that in the fridge so it's firmed up, and then made some really great little croquettes. And we've got some panko breadcrumbs, because it's a little nod to our friends in the Far East, deep fried, so we've got a nice little texture, bit of richness going through there as well.
So with the bonbon then, what is so special about the West Country cheese? What really makes that?
It's got see, I'm funny with my cheese. I don't like it too strong in terms of that cheddar, but it's got a really rounded flavour, and it just really works. Ham and cheese, like a toasted ham and cheese sandwich.
What a
there
combo.
without the bread. Exactly.
Oh.
Exactly. So kind of, you know, a play on some things that we're really familiar with to maybe introduce to an audience that have not seen it before. So that's that. We've got some, also we've got the cauliflower, we've got the black trompettes that are going with the hock. So the hock is cooked slowly in a saucepan, really slowly in a big stock. So we've got chicken stock in and lots of herbs. And that just falls away from the bone. So it looks really ugly, but it turns into something beautiful. It's a bit like Cinderella.
Oh, we
We strip all that meat down, chop it all up, then I put it into a little cake tin, and then we press it overnight in the fridge. So we've got like a really lovely even terrine, and we're going to take a slice of that. That's got loads of flavour. And for me, this dish is a play on ham, egg and chips, right?
Another favourite of mine.
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly. So we've got some brioche bread, and we've just deep fried that. So that's going to give us a little texture. That's our chips, right? And we've got slow cooked egg yolks. So they're cooked at 45 minutes at 64 degrees in a sous vide. Now, if you haven't got a sous vide at home, you can cook them in oil. So it's like confit, exactly the same, but keep the temperature constant. And it's a thicker yolk, so it's not going to burst. It's going to have some consistency, a bit of richness as well.
And I bet that really complements the pork.
Yeah, exactly. So it's ham, egg and chips, right? So the yolk's got to be there. It's going to add to the richness. And we've got a few other bits that are going to go in there as well. I've got a frisee lettuce with some other lettuce. We've got a mayonnaise that's made with standard egg, but we've got some extras in there. We've got a little bit of truffle. And
Spoiling us.
a little bit of truffle, and we've got some nori seaweed, right?
Hold on,
so
you're using truffle as well?
I'm using truffle too.
No way, man.
But I didn't
listen.
take your truffle.
Are you sure?
Oh, you see now the competitive
Yeah,
edge comes out.
exactly.
Now we're seeing a bit of that. Love that.
So I'm going to fold a little bit of that through there. So that's going to give it the bitter taste. There's a lot of richness, a lot of sweetness in the terrine dish. So just going to put them to the side. So if you have a look at that, we've now got a great colour, right?
look at that.
So we've got a great colour. So now just going to put it on its side. We want just crisp up the rest of the pork. And if you have, like I said, if you haven't got, you don't need a sous vide for this dish. It's in the oven. Cover it in foil. You don't need terrine dishes. You can just put that into a bread, cake tin, whatever. Put another weight on top of it and press it down. You get that. Look at the layers. Oh, it's lovely, like that.
And
All
what's
pressed
so
down.
interesting to me and what's already really standing out is just the versatility of this meat and just how differently you're both using it.
Well, that's a pig, isn't it? From nose to tail, you've got a multitude of different dishes. If you take a pig and you say, what do they do with it in Europe? What do they do with it in South America? What do they do with it in Asia? Completely different. When I visited Asia, that's what blew me away. And there were some similarities there in terms of, you don't want that spitting at me, so we don't want any kind of burn mark. But
This is the moneymaker.
Yeah,
We don't want to
exactly,
damage this.
exactly. So was the versatility in terms of were the influences of the Far East all the way from sort of China and Japan right through Malaysia and Southeast Asia, all those different influences from Spain, Portugal and the local indigenous people, and that kind of incredible versatility, and that blew me away when I was travelling.
So that travelling, would you say, really influenced your cooking?
It did, yeah, because it opened up a whole new world of cooking to me. I'm not to say that I'm any expert in Asian cooking, that's the man over there, right? But it's very interesting flavours, very interesting textures. They're very respectful to the meat, especially the pig. It's revered, you know, from, like I said, from China all the way through. So yeah, it's the versatility, and you see it in what Tim's doing and hopefully what I'm doing today.
I love it. It's so exciting to see it being used in such different ways. Now, speaking of that kind of Asian influence then, Tim, talk to me about how you found your love of cooking. How did that all begin?
Well, it all began actually when I was 8 years old. You know, being so fascinated with my mom and my aunties because they actually own like a hole-in-the-wall type of restaurant, where it's like normal class working people actually go over for their lunches and stuff, and then they actually cook in this kiln with full of charcoal and just woks, and and basically we actually call it like a carinderia. So in the Philippines, so it's like loads of various dishes, and then they just choose whatever they want to go with their rice. And then yeah, when I was actually 8, that's the first time I actually touched a frying pan and actually saute stuff. And so it's
Got a
it's
lovely
kind of,
Anne.
yeah, it's like kind of like getting that from my mom and my auntie. It's like my whole family they're all foodies anyway. So even my dad is a good cook. One of the dishes that I actually remember that my dad do really, really well is a dish called sisig. So please don't be squeamish about this, but it's
Okay.
actually made out of pig's head.
Right?
So what they normally do is they actually boil the pig's head, cook it on a charcoal, chop it all up, and serve in a sizzling plate with a raw egg, and then you mix it together. It becomes like a pork hash, and it's one of the most amazing things. Again, it's down to what Greg said about the nose to tail. You have to utilize the whole of the animal. Like crispy pig's ears is one of my favorite.
Really?
Braised pork cheeks. It's such a delicacy in Spain, and you know what? I love it.
Full of flavour, I bet.
Full of flavor, full of those gelatinous goodness. You know what? As long as these cuts has actually been done well, it's way much better than any prime cuts.
And that's what we want. We don't want waste, do we?
Of
As
course.
chefs, that's probably the worst thing you could witness, food waste.
Exactly. Even like cauliflower trimmings or whatsoever, you can turn them into kimchi. You can ferment that, and actually, there's a lot of ways to not waste any food.
Absolutely. Is this banana leaf here?
Yeah, that's banana leaf.
So what are we doing with this?
Basically, what I've done with it was actually put it in the heat to kind of like release all of the flavors
Right.
and aroma. So now it's actually can fold it. Without putting it in heat, you're not going to be able to fold that. So this one is something nostalgic because it reminds me of my grandma.
Does it really?
Yep. Growing up in the Philippines, everything's like being served there. We even have this dish called kamayan, where everything's like laid on a banana leaf, with your pork, fish, and then rice in the middle, and then just eat with your hands.
And so will that change the flavour of the pork at all?
It actually enhances it because of the aroma of it. It's kind of
Right.
like this nice vanilla-y herbal note.
And I love the nostalgia that comes with cooking. And Greg, I know that that's something that you certainly feel because you got your love for cooking from your mum, right?
I did, yeah, it did indeed. I mean, touching upon what you just said there about food. Food's all about memories for me. Food always takes me to places, smells and aromas and food. Why with great holidays, great people, great countries. My mum, started at a really young age, started just prepping veg, and then just graduating into, some standard kind of cooking that she thought she could do it with her hands tied behind her back, really easy, right? And then moved into learning to butcher, learning to use carcasses, and some of the more unfashionable cuts, so hock, those kind of things, and building stocks. And the fact that in a big saucepan where you're cooking the hock, that broth is as revered as the hock itself. So keep that, pass that through a muslin. You can use that to build stocks. It could just be a soup on its own, it'd be incredible. And you can add it to other things. So, obviously in the Far East, thinking about ramens and that kind of thing in Japan and all through. So that's, a lot of people would pull that away and be like, that's the gold.
That's the good bit.
Yeah, so, and the meat's phenomenal. So,
I can tell.
She taught me a hell of a lot. Yeah, so this is, it looks really complex, but it's not really. It's just a bit of patience overnight. So it's shredded down, it's cooked. I've broken it all down. You can see the way the sinews and everything's running through, all the bits of the pork all the way through there. And then if we hold it like that, you can see the different layers where it's been pressed. So you've got all the fat, all the flavour, and it's pretty pretty to look at, isn't it, right?
It's beautiful. So is hock the best cut of meat to use for a terrine?
For me, yes. If I'm using pork, because it has the right balance, has some incredible flavour. Of course, it has some really tremendous fat that really requires just one process, right? And it just works. So you can put as much of the fat in there after you cooked it as you want, and it's kind of play by taste, really, whatever your taste. I've added some herbs when I've cooked it in the saucepan, just to give it some other elements, but not to overpower the fact that it's a fantastic bit of meat. and we want to taste the pork. I don't want it be overpowered by spices and other things. They can add to it. It's like that's the conductor, the orchestra kind of doing their thing, right? That's it.
It is a fantastic cut. And are there any other dishes you'd use hock for in particular? Well, the bonbon.
The bonbon or the croquette.
The classic
whatever you wanna
croquette.
call it. I really love it. I mean, you know, like that. Even the hock itself, you know, just trimming the meat off and having some really straightforward boiled potatoes, because it's a fancy, you know, you don't have to do too much to it. It's a really great cut.
So
just
versatile.
enjoy that, enjoy that. So, but yeah, if I'm feeling particularly greedy, I'll do 25 or 30 of those and just, but there won't be 20 or 30 left, because chef's privilege, you always eat them, don't you?
Well,
And I have one later.
We are going to,
Are you
I've
sure
got a few
about that?
for you.
I'm
I've got a
looking
few
forward to
tucked
that.
away. I've got the special drawer. Don't worry.
Okay.
I should add as well, you have got just
15 minutes.
less than,
Okay.
so not long at all. So how are we getting on?
We're doing good.
Yeah.
We're doing good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good?
Pretty good. I'm good to plate and free.
Oh, so you're nearly ready. You're
I'm
nearly
nearly
there.
ready.
So let's talk about your Michelin training then, because you know that must have been incredible, and you must have learned so much from that. But is there anything transferable that you learned when doing that you could put into everyday cooking?
Yeah, it's just basically knowing the basics, you know, knowing the basic knife skills, the basic cookery, basically, you know, like sautéing, frying, poaching. So you will learn that as you actually progress throughout your career, because a lot of people think like, oh, it's cooking and just put that in the pan or stuff. But there's so much behind it. It's like playing with, you know, temperatures and stuff.
It's amazing, and I'm just loving the colours.
See that pork?
Oh, that pork, the top, the skin. Oh,
Yeah, it's like pork floss, basically.
that is pretty special. Wow. So the ham, egg and chips
Ham, egg and chips.
are being constructed.
They are. I've got some problems with my yolks, just not wanting to come out in one. But
I think I should add as well, this is all very nice. Not much competitiveness going on, but remember there can only be one winner.
only one winner. Well, obviously I want to win, and if we do it alphabetically, I should really win, shouldn't I? So that's how.
I want to win as well, but you know what? We're both friends, so if I'm gonna lose to someone, I'd rather lose to Craig.
I thought
Aw,
exactly.
how lovely is that? I thought I was going to have to be keeping you two apart, but I can tell that there's a genuine friendship there, which is really lovely. Now, Greg, let's talk a little bit about traceability then, because I spoke to Tim about how important it is
Yep.
to, you know, from birth to plate. How important is that to you
Well,
as a chef?
Well, just, you know, even as a consumer, that's a key thing. It's knowing where your food's come from, because it's about trust. Are the people selling me the produce telling me the truth? Do I know the welfare of this animal, what it's eating? It's kind of like a food passport, right? So that's a key thing for me, and that's what I look for, you know, in my suppliers. Can I go and see the pigs? Can I, you know, go to the farm?
So you actually do
Yeah,
visit farms?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because I think that's really important, because we're getting the easy job, right, in terms of showcasing this at an end plate. But there's been years and years of hard work from a farmer and that whole supply chain to bring this to plate for us. And you've got to reward that, but you've got to understand all the work that goes in. Because you're telling the story as well, aren't you? And I'm telling the story. If I'm going to sell that dish to someone that says, well, you're charging this for it, why? I say, because this is a superior piece of pork. It's been reared in this way. This is the life it's had. And they'll believe in that. You know, it's a story. You're telling a story, aren't you? And
Yeah, well, this is the end of the story, really,
Yeah,
isn't it? There's
yeah.
so much more that goes
Of
on
course,
that we
yeah,
don't see
yeah.
here in the kitchen.
Yeah, and that's really important. Like I said, it's really important to meet your suppliers, go and see what they're doing. You're buying into a belief system, right? As you go and see them, you go and see the pigs, you see how the pigs live, and like Tim said, you know, happy pigs, great pork, right? There's
100%.
yeah, there's no.
It's so important, isn't it? So I assume you're both on the same page then, that your relationship with your suppliers are brilliant.
Well, it's key. Yeah, it is key, because you're a really important part of that piece from farm right through, showcasing the product, and it's important that you know that, and you can execute it, you know, and do it justice. That's the key thing. You're doing a great bit of pork justice.
And can I just simply add something into that? Basically, if you actually have a very good relationship with your suppliers as well, they will look after you. They will give you the absolute best.
Absolutely, and we want that level of excellence, don't we? And
Of course.
you can see it on the plate there. So I'm going to have a little look here. So you've got the hock on the go as well. That's been cooked low and slow. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, so basically it's been cooked in the sous vide first.
Yep.
So you kind of like break down all of the gelatin and the enzymes, and then just pop it in the oven like really, really high temperature. So you kind of have like nice brownie color. Actually, it's almost done.
Should we take a little look? Oh, wow. Oh, and the smell as well. Oh, gorgeous. Look
So-
at that.
It's got a nice crispy exterior, and then inside is still gonna be juicy and succulent.
Is your plate?
And there's lots of
in that one?
oh, look, helping you out as well. How about that? Oh, no sabotage at all here. And there's lots of collagen, am I right in saying,
Yeah.
in the hot cut?
Yeah.
Right.
But you know what? Once it's actually done right and it's been melted, it's really, really good.
The flavour's amazing.
Yeah.
Cannot wait to try it.
How long before you serve, chef?
We have got just over 10 minutes time.
Okay. I think we're going to be early, aren't we?
We're gonna be early, yeah.
Hey, listen, there's nothing wrong with that. The sooner I can try this, the better. It looks amazing.
What? Let me have a little nose around.
You're always having a nosy.
I don't need to look at yours because I've
And of
seen
course
how
you'll be-
fantastic it is
You'll
already.
be trying each other's dishes as well.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to it, especially that ham, egg, and chips.
Yeah.
That is something right up my
And
street.
the thing is, as chefs, you don't often get a chance to sample each other's food unless you go to the restaurant. That's not, you know, what do you want to do any day off? You don't really want to go to the restaurant.
Oh, it's looking amazing. I'm excited about all of it, and it's just so different the way you're doing it. It's incredible.
So basically, this is now the traditional Filipino sauce,
Okay.
the adobo. So again, down to that zero wastage. So all of the bones has been cooked down, you know, to create that nice porky sauce.
And again, that comes back to the minimal waste because
Exactly.
involving the bones in that sauce, we're just using absolutely every part possible, aren't we?
Every part possible. One of my favorite dishes as well is actually the crispy pig's tails.
Really?
It's so good. It's really, really good.
Phenomenally good, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I have to try it.
So there was a time I spent in northern Spain, Galicia, and I had this dish called cocido, and it had everything from the tail, the lips, the ears, the snout, the mouth, the tongue. The flavour from that was one of the most flavourful dishes I've ever eaten. Full
Really?
stop, full stop. And that's all about no waste and maximum flavour. It was
Really?
incredible in terms of flavour, not in terms of the pork. The flavour was just
That's how it should be, though, isn't it?
amazing. Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, most definitely. We don't want to see any waste. So on goes the croquette.
Croquette, and we've got the little bits of nice browned off in butter. This is going to give a nutty flavour. So this is a little bit of a nod to how a pig leads its life. Like some of those that eat acorns and so forth, just snuffle up.
So are these dishes that your average home cook could replicate?
I think so, with a bit of
Yeah.
work, or break it down into consistent parts, into individual parts. You know, the pork belly, you can cook the pork belly. A bit of practice, you can learn how to do croquettes. You know, most people know how to cook a scallop. If you don't, you know, you can learn, right? There's some fancy bits on here that don't necessarily need to do at home, right? So the apple, I put it in some lemon and then use the blowtorch. You know, not many people have got a blowtorch at home unless you're a welder, but you know, if you do, feel free. Yeah, start burning your apples.
Is that a side job?
Yeah, exactly. But
I think I better just stick to the pork actually.
exactly. Exactly. So, but yeah, I think you can. This is about showing you some of the flavours and textures that go really well with pork. But ultimately, the star of the show, like on Tim's, is the pork. All the other bits are the accompaniments that make this a rounded dish. Because we're chefs, right? We want to kind of take you on a bit of a food journey and sort of make it a bit more interesting than putting just a whole lump of pork belly on a plate. As great as that would be. How you doing, chef?
I'm good.
Yeah, the pork's the real hero here, isn't it? And
Yeah.
Yep.
just looking at the dishes, that's what really is screaming out to me. You know, the colours look amazing, but these cuts of pork just
Yeah, basically, you
look
just want to showcase it. You just want to showcase it the best possible way. It's again paying respect for the animal, you know.
wow. It's just incredible that this is the same cut as this.
Well, I think that's the great thing, is to show there are many ways of showcasing a cut like pork belly or hock, and they're using lots of different techniques. Like Tim's using some classic techniques as well as really modern techniques in terms of sous vides and stuff like that. But you know, you can replicate that to a certain degree at home as well. Just cooking it low and slow, and you know, that's the best way to cook these cuts that got a load of fat, because you want it to render. It's a muscle. You don't want it to tighten up. Render the fat brings flavour. You want that to seep out, and you have a great. I mean, look at that. You know.
But you both cooked the hock low and slow, but
Yep.
you poached,
I poached.
didn't you?
Yep. I poached it, braised it effectively. And Tim cooked it differently.
Yeah, basically I cook it in a sous vide with all of the aromats, with lemongrass, ginger, you know, and then the pork belly, I've actually cooked it in rendered pork fat. So again, going back to that zero waste,
Yep.
where you actually render the fat and use that as a flavoring to actually enhance the porky goodness of the pork belly.
I love that, and just the little finish of salt on the top.
Yeah, not finished yet. I have some coriander as well. So a little bit of freshness to kind of cut through to the fat. No?
Wow. Really is looking incredible.
Well done.
So you have just over 5 minutes remaining. How are you both doing?
Good. I'm just ready to.
You getting there?
Couple
We're
of
getting there.
other bits.
Well, it looks sensational. And I will remind you again, gentlemen, there can be just one winner.
Just one winner.
I can't call it standing here myself. But I'm very excited to try it, I have to say. So where did your inspiration come for these dishes then?
I love pork belly. I love croquettes. I love hock. And to me, it was having a bit of fun with both. So especially with the ham, egg, and chips, it's, you know, it was a staple that I used to eat at home. My mum would make her own chips and actually use the fat of pork that she cooked
Really?
to cook the chips
In
in
the
to give
chips.
additional flavour. So the slow cooked egg, I've used a modern technique, you know, sous vide. So it's a take on that, and then just going to put them on at the last minute. That's given us the texture. They're our little chips. Well, little, they're nice and big. Okay.
You cannot go wrong with big chips, Greg.
Oh,
No one's
my.
complained about big chips before, have they?
Not at all.
So
Wow.
yeah, that's a little bit of fun, and this is really just showcasing some other things that go with pork. Apple pork. The pork is, when it's braised, there's lots of fennel in there, so you've got that anise family, and anyone watching from the Far East, you know, star anise is a staple in cooking.
clove.
Yeah, and clove with flavours.
Yeah.
So, you know, I want to kind of showcase that they're there, but I've got some slants in there. I've got some jalapenos, little slice of jalapeno for a little bit more heat, and I've also got to add the XO sauce. So the XO sauce, that's my version of XO sauce, not a traditional that you'd find in the Far East, because I'm still learning about it. It's very complex, but I'm learning this one is a vegetable one. So I've used
Smell.
shiitake mushrooms, garlic, chili, soy, a little bit of honey, a little bit of mirin in there, and some fresh herbs, and cooked it down and down. The longer you cook it, the better it is.
Wow. Well, it looks like you're in the final stages of plating up, which is good because we are running out of time.
Okay.
Just a couple of moments left. So good to see you're on the finishing touches. Are you happy with the outcome of your dishes?
Yeah, I'm pleased.
Really
pleased
happy
with mine.
about it.
Pleased
I
with
think I
mine.
have the winning dish.
You think you have? There you go, he's trying to get in your head now. He's left it till the last
Yeah,
minute.
he's got at me, isn't he?
Right, you're ready to present. So you're both
Yeah.
finished?
Yeah.
Is it-
Okay, well,
You first, sir. You're
take
younger
it
than
away.
me.
Oh, you're both very polite. Wow. Look at those. I like that you're both checking each other's out on the way as well.
You have to do that.
Of course.
Try not to drop it, Tim.
Excellent job, gentlemen. Wow.
Well done.
Look at those.
Cheers, buddy.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Job well done. Your time is up. You've both successfully completed your dishes. Now for the fun part.
I'll taste it.
We get to try it. Well, Greg, Tim, you've both prepared 2 stunning dishes, and now we get to taste them. So,
Awesome. Looking
Let's-
forward to this.
tuck in, shall we?
Wow.
They really do look amazing. We'll start with your pork belly, Greg.
Okay.
So let's go for it.
This is the rocket, yeah?
Yeah, just rock it with olive oil. Pork belly's been braised and then finished in a pan to give it a little bit of crisp. You've got a little croquette on the
Look
side.
at that pork.
You've got a
It's so tender, isn't
little
it?
bit on the side. You've got some XO sauce. You've got pickled cauliflower, and you've got roasted cauliflower and butter, and you've got little scallops on the side as well.
That is really good. I love the extra sauce on that, and the pork is really the star of the show. Really, really good.
The flavours. Stunning.
I like it. Good.
And this is the
The little
pork hock.
ham hock. So it's a little nod to the other dish that we're using.
Croquettes.
Chopped up the ham hock. Yep.
Really, really good.
Oh,
Oh, good.
that was a good way to start.
Yeah.
Right.
So now we're going in on.
Let's try your pork belly then, Tim.
So immediately, I love just like the texture and the garlic and everything in here. So yeah, very excited to try this. And it's got truffle, right?
Can't get wrong.
Did you put the sauce?
Oh,
That's
the sauce.
That's key, man. That is
The sauce, that's the...
that's the thing that binds everything together. That adobo sauce.
Wow, look at that.
Tim.
Oh wow.
Such
Yeah.
amazing flavours. And that belly. Oh, blow me away.
Glad you enjoyed it. Busy.
He wants to polish it off. Right, whilst he's enjoying that, let's try Greg's forehock. That looks stunning.
Ham, egg, and chips.
Very posh ham,
Yeah.
egg and chips. Looks divine.
Oh, the truffles in that. Just look at that egg yolk. Wow, it's perfectly confit. But obviously, star of the show is the terrine.
Looks too good to eat, doesn't it?
Yeah. Want a little bit of mushroom in that.
You've done it again.
That's really, really good.
Good. Glad you like it.
That terrine, for me, it holds its shape really, really well. And you actually get the actual bite of the pork hock rather than disappearing.
Yeah.
Great textures.
Thank
Really
you.
good flavors.
Thank you.
Absolutely amazing and lovely different textures as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Right,
So, this one is kind of like, traditional Filipino pork hock. So you should have a crispy skin. And the
Definitely
meat just
is.
should, melt in your mouth.
Wow, just literally falls away from the bone.
Oh, look at that.
And you have to try it with the sauce and the papaya.
So we've got the sauce.
Sauce, those Asian flavours are... Oh. The kick in the sauce with the pork works so well.
How do you enjoy
It's very hot.
it? Is it hot?
It's just hit me, but beautiful.
Yeah, that's lovely. This is such a surprise to me because I've never had papaya and that level of fruit with pork in this style before, which is lovely. It just is such a great dish. It's very underrated looking because you think, it just there's loads going on. Loads going on. It's a great dish.
It really is beautiful.
Fantastic, mate. Congratulations. That's
Thank
a
you.
great
You
dish.
okay?
I'm okay. I'm just taking in all the flavours. Really was amazing. The heat has got me, but
Yeah.
lovely. But ultimately, it is down to the people to have their say. It is time for you to vote for your favourite dish of the day. So get casting those votes right now. So the moment we've all been waiting for, the votes are in, and I can reveal that today's winner is Tim!
No way.
Yes! Oh,
I'm so happy about it.
Well done, mate.
Thank you, bro.
congratulations!
Well done. Fantastic.
High five.
Oh, stunning dishes.
Thank you.
He's very pleased.
Well, I wish the chili didn't hit you that way.
It was incredible, I have to say, and it really has been an amazing day here at the Langham Hotel for East Meets West, showcasing the quality and the versatility of British pork. We hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have, and we hope to see you soon.